So the Hape is a live spirit, and it's not just one thing. The name Hape is combination of different spirits that together create this frequency. The spirit of tobacco, which is a very strong spirit that we all know from the Native Americans, from all the ancient tradition that were consecrating and working with the tobacco, the peace pipe and all that things is a strong masculine energy, determination, clarity, grounding. And it's such a strong, beautiful, powerful energy that have so much positive to elevate you and bring clarity in your life that when the time, when, people find out, the Western people find out, so the indigenous, so the Native Americans, so everybody work with that. And so the power is bring them.
Amir, welcome to Kuda Medicina. Great to see you, brother.
How's Derek? Good to see you. Beautiful setup brother. You got there. All the flutes and everything. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'd love to start with your journey, how you came to medicine, maybe tell a little bit about your path and what it was like growing up and getting here now in California. Yeah, I would love to know that.
Okay. Yeah. So when my journey started, that's a good question. We can spend the whole hour about that as well, because who knows when it started, right? It's probably started way before we even appear here in this world. But I would say that as this body form that respond to the name Amir, I actually born in Los Angeles to an Israeli parent. And they were staying a few years here, and I born basically in the last year of them here, and then they moved to Israel. So I grew up in Israel, which some of you maybe heard about that country. It's a very small country, very quiet. But it's a country that charged with a lot of spirituality. I grew up to atheist parents, actually. And then after, normal childhood, and many things happened there, but it's nothing that we need to speak about too much right now. And then, like many Israeli, I've been joined to the military service. It's not something that actually you really have much choice on that. It's just something that everybody do, is obligatory. And I done it. And after that, which we're talking about 21, when I was 21, I decided to leave the country to go travel. And that's basically from that part of my journey start. And I like to say, in Israel, many people like to say, like the adults, they say the army either make you or break you. And what they mean is make you a man, like man, strong soldier, ready to serve the country and all that, or break you, make you, spread in your mind and stuff like that. So for me, I saw it a bit different. It's it make you kind of a robot, or it break you. It break you by making you a robot, or make you by allow you to create yourself and recreate yourself. So I went to travel. I went to see something else. You grow up in a world that people tell you everything. This is that. What's called the boundary vision, right? And school. You have to go to the army. You have to be a citizen. You have to be that. And so it made me, by allowing me to go travel, I bought a one-way ticket, went to Southeast Asia. Kind of, I wanted to go far. I wanted to go different. Went to Thailand and started to explore. And from Thailand, after a few months, I find myself in India. And I stayed there for 2 years. And in that stage, a lot of things start to open, and my body, mind, spirit start to recalibrate and start to see different dimensions and explore different things. It was mid-90s. It was a time of a lot of psychedelic And so I been able to start to experiment things. And when I came back to Israel, it was quite clear for me that things will not be the same. And there was an attempt to recruit me again to the reserve and all that things, and I made it quite clear that that's not going to be possible. And
Beautiful.
so that was the first phase. And from that place start the phase of exploration, checking everything, um, start to open to a different dimension that were not available for me even as a young. My parents were very allowing for me and always in my experiment and stuff, but the word spirit, the word God, the word divinity, all that word that for us is now like the normal words will not exist. And actually even been, a bit cynicism about all this stuff and things like that. So I had to re-examine that as well, all what I received from my parents, and open for the different dimensions.
Let's dig into India. I'm curious about that stage of your life a little bit. I spent quite a bit of time in India also. And were you exploring the different, gods of India? Did you get into yoga? Were you experimenting with things while you were there, or were you traveling and just taking in all that India has to offer?
Yeah, India is a very, very deep part of my journey, of my life. And I had the different phases in my life visiting India. And actually, it's not just visiting, it's living in India. And so I would start with the first phase, what I said, that I spent about 2 years over there. So I started in India, there's such a big country, and it's go by the time that you go there. Some part are winter, some part are summer. So I started with the mountain, which was the weather at the moment in like April, May, and around the Himalaya area. And I arrived there. I arrived with another friend, actually, that we started traveling from home. And we reached to a beautiful village in the mountains. And for me, it was basically the time stopped when I arrived there. That's something that I didn't know exist before. The shanti, the quiet. There is no time. Everything is very slow. This beautiful mountain, the flow of the people, the essence, the smell, and I just sat there. And that time also I got introduced more deeply to the smoking, the marijuana, but it was in the form of the jaras, over there in India, and it's something very holy. The Baba, the people there, the holy men, so called, are smoking it in a sacred way. So I tried all of that and start to feel what is at the time stop. And after a week or 2 weeks, my friends start to have like, all right, okay, let's move next. And I had a strong pull that I don't want to go nowhere. I'm enough running now. So then I tell him as well, okay, I think it's a good time that each one go for his own ways. And so he continued, and I just stayed there for a few more months. It's not rushing to go nowhere. I knew that, time passed. I don't know how much time I'm going to be there. And there's so many things that everybody told me that you have to see. But the message I received is, I don't need to see anything. I just need to stay. That's what I need. That's the time that I have to listen to myself. And what I need now is this sitting quiet. And in that time, yeah, I experiment meditation, I experiment yoga. And so that was the main part. Later on, the weather, like the bird, showing me that it's time to move, because I was not really having a lot of interest to explore being there in the snow. And then it was the time that the birds are flying south to the area of the beach, Goa, in that area. And so I moved my way there. And that was about mid-90s. And again, didn't know much about it, but I find myself in the core of the middle of what was the big movement at that time of the psychedelic trance, and where LSD was a big player. So, and big side trance parties and things like that. So again, I experiment that things, and by experiment uh, LSD, and again, not knowing so much about it, I was more feeling things, and it just felt me. It's good. It's something that I can try. After I try once and twice, I realized there's a whole new world here, and it's kept challenge my old world, and I saw that it's good. I felt like I start to clean a lot of the conditionings and a lot of the stuff, the military, all that things that were not necessarily been chosen by me, and opened me to a different dimension. And so I stayed there for quite a lot, and I investigate that quite a lot. Let's say like that. Met very interesting people from all over the world. And so in that package of new experimented, all fresh, all new, um, I uh, I stayed there and kept exploring. So that was basically my first phase. And then between that, traveling, see different part of India as well, and then coming back.
Beautiful.
Like, if you
So
want, I
you
can tell you again about India, that later on I came back there. That was the like
Yeah,
the
would love to hear
year
that.
that, again, that was under the umbrella that I opened for that dimension of psychedelic. Um, but fast forward years later, I opened a lot of points over there. And then when I left, they all stayed open, and I never closed anything. And later on, which is 10 years later, I came back there and I realized now is the time to start to everything that I open. I want to kind of dive deep, maybe close that and not leave all these open things. And that phase was already I done with doing the psychedelic. This was a time that I already um, well, after India, I went to South America. Let's say like that.
Oh,
Yeah, I went back to Israel to experiment. It was not the right thing to me to stay there for too long. And then South America gave me the call. And that's actually where my big part of the journey came that is continuing until today, which that's where I met the plant medicine.
and did you go directly to Brazil, or did you,
No,
no.
took me years until I got to Brazil. First time I went to, I did some kind of route. I went to Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and Colombia. And in Ecuador, I met first time my first plant medicine teacher, and which is Wachuma, uh, San Pedro. And from that on, life changed in a different direction, and as well in a way that profoundly different than what I experiment in with LSD. I had actually direct connection, including the plant revealed to me and spoke to me, and the path changed from that direction. So, and we're talking about 98, 98.
Okay. And what was your first experience with the great mother ayahuasca?
So that was later on in that year. I find my path to Colombia, and I knew very little about it at that time. Try to remember in '98, there was no internet, and so growing up and being in Israel, and the only thing we knew is have some little bit older friends that were coming back from their journey, and you would hear whisper here and whisper there about the grandmother, about ayahuasca, and there is no okay. Let's go Google and read about it. There is no. There was maybe a book going around. I don't remember much, and nobody told me too much, but the name was there. And some, so when I came to Colombia, I had in my mind that I would like to find it. Not mention, Derek, that it didn't arrive nowhere. There's no way to get it here in the States like that, or in Israel. Or so I would start to asking, people if they know, and I start to get hint. Okay, and I collected hinted. It was really mission for me. And the hints directed me to one area in Colombia. It's called Putumayo. And at that time, you would look at the map. There was a time that Colombia was a lot of part were controlled by the guerrillas, considered very dangerous. So they were colored. There was a map, and where there's red, it's a guerrilla zone. Don't go, by all the embassies of the world and stuff. The guy was showing me, okay, you see, this is a pink, this is orange, get red until shining red. Look at the middle, that's where you need to go. So I was like, let's go. You know, I was really, at that moment, at that time, I was just, didn't need to think about anything. I knew, you're going to be all right. People told me, be careful in Colombia, it's dangerous, be like that. But I never felt fear at all, even in the city. I always had it, I think. I feel the flow of the people. I see how the people behave, and I can follow. And I saw the people walk there, very open eyes, look at people in the eyes, don't look down, walk like that, the confidence. And that's the way I walked around. And then when I went to the jungle there, the areas of, I start to find a hint until I find that place, specific place. And I come there. It's a big journey, buses and stuff, up in the mountains somewhere. And I came with my mochila. And I just say, yeah. And the guy saw me and they say, you're looking for the medicine, right? You're looking. And I say, yes. And I tell him, you know, the native, the indigenous, they're coming from the jungle sometime. Nobody know when they come. And if you're there, they're going to take you in. And I say, really? And when's going to happen? I say, you know what? They just left like a week ago. So it's probably going to be a while. And person there, the owner of that guest house and stuff, he saw my face of disappointment. And he told me, but you know what? I have here. We can drink together. He was a Colombian, you know, and he said, yeah, I do it for years and years and years. And we went together and we went, sat in a beautiful place in the mountain and drank together the whole night, just me and him.
Mm.
And part of the night was silence. Part of the night he was playing a flute, I think. And big part of the night, we were also talking. I was asking him questions. A lot of magic appeared in front of my eyes, a lot of visual, and we were talking a lot. But one thing that you don't know is that I didn't speak Spanish at that time. I was very basic of the basic of the basic. But somehow we spoke in the night in some way. He didn't speak any other language either. And certain moment there was morning suddenly, there was sunrise. I don't know if you know how the time passed. And he tell me, okay, let's go down. Let's have a tea down. And we're going down and we sit somewhere and having a tea and talking about the experience. And suddenly I tell him, wait, I'm speaking Spanish. And he was like laughing at me, with me. And he say, yeah. And I'm like, but how? He say, now you start to understand some of this magic. You know, we exchange a lot of things here during the night. A lot of the Spanish I learned actually happened in that night.
Beautiful.
And I would
Amazing,
say another,
brother.
I'm just going to say one, to complete that story, that was around 98. The medicine opened so strong for me. And then I said a couple of more times, there were some magical things happened there as well. And it was very clear for me, the medicine want to work with me and I can work with it. And it was, but I was like, maybe, I think, I remember 2024 or something like that. And somehow my message on top of that was, it's too early for you, you know? And I didn't really understand what does it mean, but tell me you're not ready yet completely to go. And I felt like I'm very ready, but later on I understand you're not ready because once I'm gonna go deep, there's no way back. And actually, I did needed a lot of time in the middle to do other things as well. So after Colombia, I actually changed direction and I said, now it's time for me actually to complete a lot of different things. And I didn't even know why, didn't know what's going to be later, that will be my life. So I went back to the States. I study filmmaking. I was very curious about things, and I realized I don't even know what it is to live in so-called West and things like that. And so I studied, and later I went back to India, did a lot of the yoga, Zen. And actually, my Zen master was telling me, you cannot do any substance, so called. You cannot take, so I didn't smoke. I didn't do any plant medicine for many, many years. And, and I had to do all that things, Derek. It was very important in my life. And later on, I realized uh, it was too young to go, because it was connected to ego. Nobody do these things at that time. I would come back as the big messiah, the big guru, tell everybody what to do. I was too young to handle that force. I know it now. And in the Jewish, they speak the Kabbalah. They say you have to wait until 40 before you start. And I realize why they say it. You can start younger, but you're not ready enough. I was not ready enough. It would come not in the right way that the medicine wanted it to open for me. And so it was actually around 40, maybe, or a little bit earlier than that the past brought me back into the medicine. And from there on, it was very solid and clear why and how, and guided me, as it can keep guiding me now, to the right way, guide me to the right people, guide me to the right indigenous. That's when I find Brazil as well for the first time, 2015. And from there on, so yeah, so that's a bit of that path, which I want to say that I basically realized that I didn't really had so much saying about that. It seems like that I decided everything. It's my decisions. Is it for real? So that's the questions, you know?
Yeah, that's a great question for all of us to ponder, and I feel like the more that we can surrender to the divine, the more beautiful our life is. Let thy will be done. Something I say every day.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Surrender.
You got to Brazil finally, and did you find the Kuin right off the bat, or did you, go the Awanawa and kind of maneuver your way through different tribes? I'd love to hear, because I know you have a deep love and respect for the Kuin, and I would love to know how you were led there.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I'm saying. As I was, when I went back to India in 2003, I was actually after separation, while I was here in America back and study, I went to the college and stuff. I also met my first wife, um, and our story uh, got to an end as well. I guess I was not ready to this either. And I decided, okay, now everything is open for me. I decided that, yeah, filmmaking is nice and stuff. I could see how I could find a job and stuff, but the message was very clear that it's not exactly what my soul is looking for. I actually study directing and producing and for cinematography, and I was like, you know what, man, you are the star of your own movie. There's no time for that right now. All respect. I mean, it's a beautiful work, and I really enjoy it, but you have other things to do. And the call was saying, okay, now a lot of things open. The marriage thing, this didn't happen. Go back to India. Go and complete. And that stage, that's what I'm saying, until I left it again, was about 10 years. And that's where I could deepen in my Zen studying, yoga. I was no use of any substance, and I was as free as it get. And I could see myself can live like that to the rest of my life. I was not searching for anything. Actually, in the Zen, how they say the search is over. I felt very free. Didn't need to add anything, or not add or not to subtract anything. And when I got to that place, the Kuin find me. Actually, they would not find me before, because otherwise I was too distracted about things. So I was in India. I had my own set of cameras because I did study that. That's my profession. And I was working with the local community there, all the expat, I was shooting videos, and for yoga teacher, musicians, and it's a very nice flow. And one day, my good friend, Italian woman, she was in Brazil. She met the Queen. She met Ninawa Pai de Mata, and she decided to bring them to India. Nobody ever from the tribe been in India, and to introduce them to the local community. She felt a lot of her friends that in the 80s, 90s were doing a lot of drugs and psychedelic, and some of them are still there doing the same thing. Time to maybe elevate to something, to add more spirit to the story. And so she brought them. And for me, it was not, yeah, okay. She told me, and I'm like, okay. Didn't talk to me too much. And then one day she told me, can you come and do a video for us? They're coming, they're going to do open concert. And we just want to do a video serving Hape. I didn't even know what is Hape at that time. And we can do a trade or something. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And I arrived in that night. And there was Ninawa Pai de Mata and Chanai Kakuru. And that night, with the camera, I experienced something that I never felt before. When they open the mouth, when they start to chant, when they start to sing. So I understood at that moment, what does it mean chant? Because I was all enchanted. And I felt the power. There's a line of people there all receiving the Hape and what's going on there. And I was like, this Hape is interesting. And then my voice of my teacher, my Zen teacher, no substance, but I'm like, there's no substance here. And I felt it, and I realized, and they spoke about the Hape, about what is Hape, and I just felt the spirit of everything there, the spirit of myself, the spirit of the plant, and I made a video, and that's how it started. And later on, I came to their home and showed them the video. At that time, there were no cameras in there. Nobody brought camera to the jungle. They never saw themselves on a video, so they were enchanted now. And then my friend, she asked me, okay, so we're going to have ceremonies in this and this days. Do you want to come? And you want to choose a day? And somebody told me they're going to have a retreat for 3 days somewhere. And I said, you know what? I want to do the retreat. And she was like, you want to do the retreat? You know, she knew I don't do things normally. And I said, if I do it, I'm going to do it 3 days. I said, you want, I can add money or whatever. And she said, you know what? It's okay. Don't add money. Maybe you bring still camera, and maybe in the morning you can make some photo that can help us to. And then I went to the ceremony. That was after many years of not doing the medicine. And it was so powerful, so beautiful. In the night, I was so deep. I disappear. I saw myself as part of the tribe. I saw my past life, I cannot, I don't need to explain you, but it was one of the most profound things. Connect me to that time when I was a kid there in Colombia, but in much, much more profound way, because I managed to do my walk in between. And before I realized, I start to see the skies start to open and kind of like morning light start to appear. And I'm like, oh my God, now I'm going to have to do the camera thing. I had no idea how to do that. Camera, I'm so good with the camera. I was like, all right, I have to get ready. On my eyes, I couldn't see anything but the fractals and stuff. And I went to the pajer, to the shaman, and I told him, I didn't speak Portuguese, but I tell him something I need to make, and I don't see anything. And no problem. They took a bottle of something and put in my eyes, later to be known Sananga. I had something very burning in my eyes suddenly, and suddenly all this fractal turned into sharpness. Later, they told me that's what the hunters take in the morning. You get the night vision, you get sharp view. And I just pick up my camera. I say, let's see, whatever come. And nobody take pictures in ceremony, but in the beginning, they said that Amir will do some things, only of the shamans, not of the people. And I started to make pictures and didn't know what will happen. And I didn't know if it's in focus at all and whatever. But I took some photos, and as the morning come up and the ceremony finished, and I wanted to run back I took my bike and drove fast to my home. I wanted to see the pictures, and there was one picture there, very beautiful, like portrait of a Chanai Kakuru, and I wanted to touch it a little bit. Normally, all my pictures that I did later on in the years, I don't touch them. They're exactly how they is. But he was illuminated the whole night with white light. So I made this white light around him. And that picture was uh, very beautiful, very right. And the day after I came and I showed them the photos, they never saw themselves in a photo. They loved it. And they loved me also. So they felt me. I felt them and they felt me. I sat there very nicely and saw my spirit, I guess. And that morning or the day after, with their Brazilian organizer, they came to me and say, they want you to come to the jungle with them. They told me. And they say, we were like some kind of Goa India hippies, we didn't have much money and stuff. But they say they cannot bring you there. But if you can come to Brazil, they'll take care of you. And, I tried to ask the Brazilian guy, what does it mean to go to the jungle? And he told me, yeah, it's you have to take like 3 flights and 5 days boat and you go deep inside. And he told me, and I had talked to some people that been there once and they told me about the mosquitoes in the sides of a cat and told me also the other side of it. And I was like, am I ready for it? Am I not? But the answer was like, hey, there's no question. You have to go there. And they invited me. They say, come to the jungle and bring your camera and it will be nice. We want to make some picture of the elders, of the babies. And it will be good for us as well. So I decided to come and 6 months later, I was there in the jungle. There was a festival that they did. They invite few foreigners, but it was mainly their own festival that people come from all the different villages. And I brought the camera and there was nobody before ever professional photographers that was in the tribe and was invited to make photos. So it was I think 15 days festival, which basically we drank every single night. So I think it was like 14 ceremonies in these 15 days. And I came there with all my equipment and everything, but I told myself, take 3-4 days or whatever you need, don't touch the camera. And so for like 3 or 4 nights, I was just drinking the medicine. I was always the first online, just taking in and cleaning and connecting to the forest. And everybody see me there. And maybe 4 days or something, or 5 days after, I'm like, okay, now let's take the camera. And I start to dance with the camera, and I dance with them, and it was a very, very, very beautiful, and we connected, and from that moment, we connected with the spirit as well. I took a lot of beautiful portrait of many of them. And some of them I put out. I made some videos. I made video of Chanai Kakuru, which is an incredible musician as well. He was young at the time, 20 something. And I put the video out. I made this thing called Amazon Calling and put it on YouTube. And that video, there were no many videos like today of the indigenous singing, and that video hit more than 1 million clicks in a short time, and thousands of people comments, and led to a lot of people to find about the people and the tribe, and later on led many people to the medicine. And as I was traveling around the world and sometime with them and meet people, and I was asking people, how did you hear about them? And some people would tell me, oh, there was this video in Amazon Calling. I felt very proud. I didn't really know even why I did it and what's the main reason of that thing, but I realized that photos and video helped to connect a lot of people for that dimension. And they wanted that. They invited that. It was not intruding them. They really the tribe felt there is a time to send that message wider, and that because humanity needed it. So it was a decision. They didn't know how and what, but that's why they opened the gate again. So
you're a messenger. That video
I'm a
was
messenger.
yeah, you're a messenger, brother. It's a beautiful story, man. I had no idea about the India roots and the yeah, it's really special. That story is really special. You're probably the only person I've ever met that's met the medicine in India. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met
Yeah,
it in
it's a great
Colombia. I tell you, I met it in
or
Colombia.
yeah, or yeah,
And then
deepened it.
there was many years of gap that I did it. and I didn't know if I ever going to drink it again, actually. And the year before I drank with them, there was another guy arrived from Peru, and I decided to join. After many years that there was here and there, things come and I was not drinking. And the Santo Daime came one time and this, and sometimes they asked me to come and help because they knew that I'm like one of the guys that drank from the early years, but I would not drink. And that guy from Peru, I decided to go. I was a bit like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. And I just asked, I just want to heart open. And at that time when I drank the whole night, the whole color were pink and shapes of heart. And the main person that organized the ceremony lost it over there. And they asked me, I saw it, I was like, can I help? He said, yeah, take care of the people, I'm out. So I would start to take care of the people. The shaman were there passing, singing to people every time he come, he see me, he was like, cha, hermano. So it was very good. And I got this message at that time. It say, welcome back. It was kind of voice. And then the second voice took you a long time, but it took as much as needed. Yeah, so the message was clear. I'm part of that mission, you can say like that. And the mission is to help, help bring people into the dimension of connecting them to the spirit. And it doesn't mean by all means that it has to be through drinking ayahuasca. There's so many different ways. And now as I'm growing and getting elder and stuff like that, I'm open for many. I learn many different ways. I experiencing different ways, and it's all good. But there's a one vision of all the different tribes and indigenous and traditions. It bring people back home, whatever home is. And so that's what we're doing here. That's what you're doing. That's why we're talking right now. That's why you're talking to everyone. And that's why I guess you play the flute. We, like the shepherd, want to bring people back to the right place without using too much word. We are not preachers, The medicine tells us shut up and just be, So,
yeah, beautiful. I would love for you to speak about the Kuin a little bit, a little bit of their cosmology. And obviously, you have a deep connection with this tribe. What is it about the Kuin that touches your heart?
Yeah, I did visit as well. I didn't visit only the Kuin. I visited the Yawanawa tribe later. I was invited as well, which are also very beautiful. And we saw them around the world traveling. And I have friends from different tribes as well. But yeah, the Kuin, it was my call. I feel like maybe I was the Kuin in the one time, and something in them really felt familiar. Talk to my soul, and the family specifically that I work the most with, Chanai Kakuru and his family, and they live in such a remote area. And most of them don't even speak Portuguese. It's not their first language. They know, but not in a really good way. And the main language is Hachaquin. It's their traditional language. And the simplicity and the profoundness of them, the way of they living in a tribe. And I've been there over more than 10 times now. And the way that the tribe move, each village have about between 100, 150 people. Normally it's a few families that expand, and how they raise their kids, how they take care of the elders, how they take care of their tradition, because they were very close to losing their culture and tradition. There was a long period of time that where the Robert Tupper time, when the Portuguese came and enslaved them and forbid them to use their culture, their medicine, their chant. It was close to extinction, and then they brought back the ancient knowledge that was taught by father to sons, and so it really it touched me a lot. They are working people. They live in the forest, as you know, and in the hands of the mercy of the forest and in the rainforest, and they are depending on harvest their crops, and they're a hunter gatherer. Yeah, they hunt, they gather, and they weave, they make the jewelry, and they sing, they teach, they dance, and so working very hard, and in the same time praying very hard, very dedicated to uh, pass the knowledge to the kids by the dancing, by the singing, by the classes, and as well are cultivate the medicine. And they are normally drink once a week, Saturdays normally, since young age. And the kids, the babies take already a little bit, and when they're a few years, they can already drink a little bit more. All the different medicines. Normally the elders, they're the ones that now the elders are like in their 90s, and they're the ones that know a lot about all the different plants. They call it the live pharmacy, the forest. And so they are very important for them to pass the knowledge to the next generation. And sometime you will see they're going to drink in the night the medicine and pray together. And in the sunrise, they go to work, they go to plant and harvest. And the way they take care of each other, I find them very, very beautiful, very pure, very innocent in a way, and very smart, very wise. And the kids there, the babies, are great teachers for us as well. They're just so smart. And for me, the way I study with them, we study as well the sacred chants and their prayers as well that they agree to share with us, that have a lot of power, and we can as well share it with people. But it's mainly the way is through transmission, through feeling their energy and feeling that feeling of that we've been forgotten in the West about what is to live in community, how we can take care of each other. So I like to receive it to see how it works. I give you example. The kids, they all live. They all have many brothers because they're all kids, they're all brothers, and the kids never alone. You don't need to worry about
Hello.
babysitting or something like that.
One sec. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, Um,
The
so the
kids.
kids,
Yeah.
the kids have a lot of fathers and mothers and uncles, all big family. It's just so the kid will run. Let's say a 2 years old kid, he's kind of running and then fall. Suddenly the kid fall and roll, and we're all there. Nobody. Yeah, it's all good. Nobody's stressed about it. The kid like look for a second, kind of like stress. See nobody else stress. Laughing and continue. One time I saw a kid walking quite fast toward the fire in the middle. There was a fire. And nobody ran and stopped him. I was like, really? And then he touched a stone and he got burned a little bit, like, "Well," and he would cry for a moment. That's it. That's the last time you're going to touch the stone. But nobody makes a story out of it. And the elder, which is very important because we all have our own elders in our own family, um, they are the ones that are celebrated the most. Everybody want to be around them and take care of them and get taken care by them and listen their story. They're not left alone. They're not putting them away, and everybody take care of each other. No woman stay alone there. Everybody have kids. Everybody have partners. No fights. No shouting. No violence. No disagreement. When they have problem, they sit and talk about it. And it's a really something that very rare, very, very specific, very special. And I assume that in many of the tribes it's like that. I don't know exactly the difference between this tribe and that tribe, but they are carrying a really very ancient tradition, and they're very humble and in a sense about that. It really touched my heart and my soul.
Yeah, me too. Okay, let's talk about our beautiful sacred tobacco,
Hmm.
Hape. Maybe you could tell everyone out there what Hape is. And yeah, just like let's dive in to this beautiful spirit.
Yeah. So I will do it maybe while I
Yeah, go for it.
about it. So for many people, when they do it, when they're not used to do it or stuff, it's not like I'm saying, hey guys, that's the way to do it. Just take and speak about it. But I do it for many, many years, and it's medicine that work very strong with me. And part of my work, we have also a shop online that we sell. We buy directly from the indigenous, and as well, I'm teaching and holding circle of that, and I'm working with students. So for me, that medicine activated in many ways, in the sense that I can do a little bit and it's even help me even better to speak and connect. Because while I do, but while we all do actually, knowing or unknowing, knowing or not knowing, we are connecting to spirit. So, so Hape is a mix of dried tobacco in the most purest organic form is coming the big leaf of tobacco that's growing there in the jungle, which get dried in the sun and grind into a fine powder, and going through that sheave, how do you call it?
Sip, yeah.
If a few times until it's very, very pure. Blend with the ash of different trees from the forest, the big tree, very, very ancient, old and big trunk. They use the bark of the tree, take a piece of the bark, and that piece they burn in a very slow fire for many, many, sometimes days. And the trees are very moist in the jungle as well. So it's not like fire that in 5 minutes gone. It's gone for a long time. And they collect the powder, collect the ash. Again, clean it when it's pure, clean ash. And the ash and the tobacco, the dry tobacco, blend very, very well together. That create that medicine that's called Hape. So in the same time, I can also, if some of the viewer or listener are not so much familiar about it, we like to do like that. We put some amount on the hand, can be any amounts, for very small or more, depend how deep we want to go with that or how much you used to it. And then normally we make it kind of nice, and then we divide it to two parts. And then the way we take it is through the nose. This is what's called kuripi, self-applicator, and that you can apply yourself. Then we have tools like the tepi, for example, that you can serve somebody else. That's how. So there's two different ways. So now I'm gonna apply for myself. One.
Ouch.
So in the way the indigenous see things and the way they taught us, and I, doesn't matter my belief. I don't like to speak of the way it is, the way we see it, the way we study with them. I'm not talking as the universal truth of God, but in these ways, everything is a spirit. Everything got spirit in nature. So the Hape is a live spirit, and it's not just one thing. The name Hape is combination of different spirit that together create this frequency. The spirit of tobacco, which is a very strong spirit that we all know from the Native Americans, from all the ancient tradition that were consecrating and working with the tobacco, the peace pipe and all that things, is a strong masculine energy, determination, clarity, grounding. And it's such a strong, beautiful, powerful energy that have so much positive to elevate you and bring clarity in your life, that when the time when people find out, and Western people find out, so the indigenous, so the Native Americans, so everybody worked with that, and so the power is bring them, immediately they'll say, great, let's make money out of it. And let's see how we can control that energy. Because we are, as human, of course, stronger than everything else, stronger than nature, right? What is tree comparing to human? So we're stronger. So we take it and let's add some things into it to also create some addiction to people and things like that. Let's create that thing called cigarette. And then we can make money out of it. That's, a bit different. in the way of the spirit, the way the indigenous see it, they say, yeah, you took the plant, that sacred plant, and you start to manipulate it. And so, yeah, you can use the leaf, you're using it, but the spirit is gone. So the cigarette stick does not contain spirit. It contains other things that are not so good for us. Yeah. But when you keep it in the natural form of it, with all the prayers that are done while they work with it, the spirit is very well alive. And then on the way that they've been receive it, once they add the spirit of the tree, each hape, we have many different type of hape, that normally the different is a different tree that used. Each tree carry its own frequency, its own spirit. And it's a very old and wise spirit. So the combination of the tobacco and the tree, for example, kumaru, tsunu, katsarao, carrying some wisdom, carrying a big wisdom, is a very smart, very sharp medicine. And while we take it, we can connect to that frequency. And then we have a few minutes that this gate is open for what you want to do with it. Now I'm talking about it. I feel that energy and we can speak about it. But normally you would take it probably in silence. And maybe there's a music. Maybe you want to play music. Maybe you want to listen music. Maybe you want to be in silence. Maybe you want to be in meditation. And in that moment, it brings you to the here and now. What is that I want here and now? So it works a lot. It works very well with your own intention. So many times you would like to put intention, and then you want to be available to receive, to hear what the hape, what the spirit want to guide you. So, for example, sometime in the Kuin tradition, they use it as well during ceremony, during the ayahuasca ceremony. And maybe in that moment in the journey, a person feel very tired, maybe depleted. You feel like the ground is taking you and you're feeling like, I want some energy. I want to lift up. And it doesn't have to be in ceremony. It can be in general as well. The hape will not give you this energy. It's not superficial thing that's going to give you now a boost of energy from somewhere. No, it will guide you to your own energy that is always there. Even if you feel like that you're tired right now, there's a life force in you. And it will show you what is needed to be activated, this energy. Maybe suddenly you will get this message, stand up. You're sitting there all slouches and I'm so tired and your mind is convincing you, hey, let's change narrative. Shake yourself up, stand up, move maybe a little bit, stretch. Up, some energy come and the frequency go up. And maybe you feel very wired. Maybe you feel too much energy and you're feeling like, I want to relax. I want to come down. You feel like, oh my, I do hape. It's not, well, if you put the intention to ground yourself, to relax, you can do the same medicine exactly, the same amount, and it's going to guide you. Maybe tell you, come down, breathe. Suddenly, oh, I need to breathe. As every breath you take, you start to feel more relaxed. Maybe this energy, let this energy go. Before we needed energy to bring energy, we shake to get energy. Now it's like, shake this energy out, bring it to the right thought. Sometimes you want to focus on something and you cannot find what. Look, suddenly this window is available. And so there are so many examples. And one of the very good examples that I would like to say is that in the West, we use it a lot. I use it a lot. We work with a lot of people, and many of us are a body worker or therapists to see a lot of people, clients, friends, and everybody carry energy. Now it doesn't need to be a bad energy. It's just different. And you work with your own energy now. Let's say you are seeing client one after each other and you finish one client and in 10 minutes, another client is coming. Now we worked with one client. So there was energy exchange there. So good or not good, it doesn't matter. There's exchange. Now, in order to be available for the next person, I don't want it to carry the energy of the person before and move it to the next person that he will move it. It's never ending. I want to reset. Hape is very good in reset. So once I finish a session, or even when I finish the podcast now, I will do maybe Hape to reset. And now let's continue. So it's very good for reset. And I'm saying it all in positive way, but sometimes it's not necessarily positive. Maybe you had this very strong phone call with somebody about work, about taxes, about whatever, and it leaves you a little bit unsettled. What to do with this unsettled energy, you know? So Hape is a great example, is help you to remove and move energy that you don't need anymore. You put that intention and send it out. So, and then, the process of the Hape as well. Sometimes you need to spit, blow your nose, and ceremonies can trigger as well. Sometimes purge that was waiting there and didn't find a way out can help as well. Help to move energy that not needed, ours, others, it doesn't matter. And help to keep moving. And you can as well use it to invite the energies that you do want, and energy that right now you're missing. It is very respected medicine in the jungle. And it's, as I said, it's a spirit, it's a medicine. There's no hierarchy in the jungle. The ayahuasca is there and Hape is there. And it's all spirits. And they're all working together, all working for the light, all spirit of nature. And one more thing, we all know that in the West, and I know it personally, and everybody that work with Hape know it. It's a very good ally and help in relationships with our partners. Because, when you live with a person or when you're in a relationship, there will be some clashes, right? Some argument. I'm sure you never had it, Derek. I know that you're above all that, but some people do experience it sometime. So what happened when we experience something like that, like what we say, when you fight, when the fight is coming, or we disagree about something, in that moment, there is no place for communication, and we start to passing energy to each other, and the energy is growing and growing, and it's just not good. So if I find myself in place like that, before even there is a chance for escalation, you're like, okay, pause. We can still say pause. We're not communicating right now. So we're going to go. My partner, she's very familiar with Hape and very love it as well. We're probably going to go each one to his own space, do our own Hape. It's not a time to serve each other. Let this energy go. Energy that enter. There's my energy, your energy, and then there's just this energy that created now and growing. Let's stop that energy that growing, that is not reality. Let it go. In a few minutes later, we are like, we can meet again, and it's like, what was it about it all? Let's talk back from the heart, and it's much easier. So, endless example, endless. How beautiful is this medicine, and how it works well, and how it's actually perfect for our life in the West as well. We have a different life than the life in the jungle. They use it very much also for focus, for their work, for hunting, from playing music, for whatever they do. And in our way, in our world, it's also very needed, very helpful. Can give people, a lot of people, it give them correcting experience from their experience with cigarette. A lot of people that, including myself, that had many years addiction for a cigarette, and send it away and basically close that channel. I don't want anything from cigarette. But by doing that, we also block that magic, sacred energy of the pure tobacco. We can call it back to that energy that been folded away because of the word of the cigarette, and bring back that sacredness to this medicine. This one here is a spirit in a bottle, good spirit in a bottle. And yeah, so.
Yeah, as many of you know that listen to this podcast, I am also a fan of the Hape, and it's one of my, besides ayahuasca, is one of my main allies in this life to connect with spirit. And I have to tell you that Amir has the best Hape available anywhere. And I can say that with great confidence because I have bought Hape from, I think, every source out there on the internet. I even wrote a book about it 2 years ago. And was so excited to get and to have the gift of your Hape is so good. If you want to tell people a little bit about your offering and yeah, it's for me, it's top shelf. It's like if you're going to use Hape, you should use the best Hape available. That's the way
Exactly.
I look at it.
I feel so as well, and I would just rephrase it by saying it's not my hape because I
Mm.
myself don't do it, and some people I heard that these days even people do it themselves, but um, the hape is coming only from one place, and it's from the Amazon, and it's from Brazil. So it's not even from Peru and not from Colombia. I mean, it's not. They're doing some places in Colombia, but the hape, as we mostly know, come from the tribes in Brazil. And one time I was in Peru, and I saw in a shop hape, and I say, "Oh, you have hape?" And they say, "Yeah." And I say, "Which hape is it?" They say, "Oh, it's hape." They didn't even know the type, and I say, "And where is it from?" I mean, which tribe? "Oh, it's from Brazil." So each hape, that we have, that we carry, coming from the tribe. Some are from Huin, some from Yawanawa, a lot from Nukini, which are masters of hape. And so what is important for me by receiving that specific hape is that I do know where it come from. We know the makers. It's very important. Hape, as I said, is not just the plant. The plant carries spirit. So it's important for us to know who is the one that carry the hape, who is the one who make it, because everything is part of everything. So to make hape, you use a lot of it. You use hand as well. You use it by hand. The way you make the fire, the way you burn the bark, the way you dry the tobacco. So the person that do it, is normally there's a man maestro that is good in that. They need to be clean themselves. It's very important. They are also connected. So if they were, God forbid, drink alcohol or doing things that are not clean, that energy of the alcohol will enter into that. You don't want it. Maybe you feel the hape and you say, "Oh, it's still tasty," but it's all subtle energy. You want it to be as clean as it is. So the person who make it is very important. It's important that it's done by the tribe that carry the ancestral instruction of how to do it and how to connect to that spirit and have the permission to do it, the permission from the tree up to that level. As well, we really pay attention about the fair trade. So obviously the hape that people buy, is allow us to support these people by sending them the money for that. Where is that money go? Are they using the money to support the tribe, or is money that go for not the right place? All that energy is very important, and by keeping that on the top of our list, we are really, as to the best of our ability, we make sure of the pureness of that element of the spirit. Another thing is the freshness of the hape. Um, the spirit, has no age, but once you turn it into that powder, uh, it will change after a few months. It has weakened, is less potent after some months. So we are making point as well to get just the right amount, as much as we need to move it to our friends, and then always get more batch, more to keep it always fresh, and make sure I'm doing it for so many years that I really know which one is really good, which one I know it by myself, what I would like to take, and I feel good about it, and I see the potentiality of it. That's the one I'll carry. And some of them, even done by good people there, I don't feel them so strong, I will not carry them. So we do a lot of work to make sure that we have the right one. Um, we are not a huge company. We don't have commercials and nothing. It's not our things. And so it is, we like to say it's our family things, that we do. I myself packing them, and me and my wife, and I'm going to go today to the post office to send to some people. And a lot of the people that buy from us know us personally. They know us as our path, us as a medicine carrier. They trust our own integrity as well. And then from that place, we open for other people that new for this dimension. We do take time to educate and teach people and do as well a happy circle that bring it to the right way. And I'm happy to take time. I'm sometimes make instructional videos for people about how to do it properly, not just how to apply it, but also how to have the reverence for that. So yes, that's our brand. We call it Jaguar Whisper. Jaguar is one of the in the Kuin. There are two main animals that they work with their frequency and their spirit, and it's the jiboya, the boa constructors that bring the energy of transformation and healing, and the jaguar. And so we called our brand Jaguar Whisper. It's like my video brand, which is Amazon Calling. So the Amazon Calling and the Jaguar Whisper, all calling the same and whispering the same, come home. And yeah, and we really love to do it. I feel very privileged because I'm get to work with this medicine and serve this medicine as well, serve it physically, but also serving, like serving the spirit and allow it to go to the right people. And I keep contact with a lot of our clients, a lot of our friends that are very grateful for that. And I have other friends that I guided that they are sharing it with their own community. And the main important for us is always if you share it to people, carrying that message of reverence of the tribe is not to get people just hooked into it. And I'll tell you as well, Derek, I mean, we cannot control things. Things have their own ways to go. But the nature of people sometimes that they want to make something out of it. It's not a party trick. I saw one time in a party somewhere, somebody just like, take it while they have a drink. It's better not. And then if people you're going to do it like that, it's not like, oh, something horrible will happen to you. It's not like that. We are not in the church, but you can choose. If it's just become something like that you do without any intention, any reverence, and mix it with other things, the spirit will not be involved there. Then what? We don't necessarily need another thing just to have it. It's a tool for transformation. It's a tool for healing. It's a tool for growth. It's a tool for connecting to this very, very settled, gentle, beautiful, powerful energy of the tribe that can live in harmony with each other. It's a tool for make us better people, better participant in this life, taking care of the earth, of Pachamama. And sometimes we have some of the Hape that is not that stay for a little bit too long. I will take it and offer it to the earth. It's a very nice process as well. So we really, really care about that, and we really have all our heart and soul in that, and that's part of what people feel. I think when they buy from us. Yeah, you said
Yeah,
there's a lot of offering out there. I don't want to say bad things, and many of them I'm sure they're great, but some become so big that there is no really control about that things. And the way it is there, we like to have actually control. We don't like to have many people that just do it for us. No, we are doing it. Yeah, we are carrying it, we're packing it. I want to have a control on that medicine, to make sure that it's in the right hand and like that.
Yeah, you said something really important, is that the energy that the tribes put into the medicine then comes to you. So then that medicine is receiving your energy also. And then it comes to us as a customer. And so imagine, people that are in a commercial setting, it goes into that commercial setting, and maybe the energies that are interfacing with the medicine at that point aren't great, or it's just a transaction, or they don't even know about Hape. I mean, I know that you personally have so much reverence for the medicine, and that's transferred as you receive it from the tribes, and then you send it out. And that's a really important step, because our lives are energy. We are balls of energy, and we are constantly absorbing energy from others and receiving the energy that others put into the things that we receive. So I feel like that's one of the main differences in, besides it's fresh and all the other great things, but it's also that you have such a beautiful energy, and that is also coming through in the as I receive it. So thank you
Derek,
for yeah.
Derek, sorry, you spoke very beautifully right now, and I think there is something there happen in the internet because your side is kind of frozen and choppy. So I don't know if that part came.
It should catch it, yeah, because it's recording on both sides, so it'll
Mm,
catch what I said. But,
okay. Right now, you're,
basically, I
for
was
example, you were perfect
yeah,
the whole time, and now it's like frozen.
yeah, maybe that's spirit telling us to wrap up.
But you did. It was a very important message that I think that maybe, yeah, now is, yeah.
Yeah. What I said will come through because, like I said, it's being recorded on both sides,
Ah,
so
okay.
you can listen to it again later, but I basically saying your Hape is amazing and for many
Thank you.
reasons.
And just, one important thing for me to say, is that what you say is very much truth. And then we realize that on top of all the elements that we said about who made it, where it's come from, all that things, now we are entering to the story. So our energy is also become part of that process. So that's why I say, for example, people that want to serve people. So I normally recommend people first learn this medicine well, serving yourself good enough time that you really feel the connection is established well. And before you serve to people, because when we start to serve medicine to people, your energy need to be very clean. You need to be very empty and center that they receive the medicine from the spirit of Hape and not filtered through mind and thoughts and things like that. So when people want to serve, yeah, it's easy to buy and just serve. You don't need a certificate for that. But the people that want to be authentic and serious about that, they will take some step before they start to serve. They're learning it themselves, and we're guiding people as well if they feel like that they are ready to serve Hape. How is the right way to do it? That you cannot be on the way. We never want to be on the way. If I serve to somebody, the main thing that I need to do is disappear. I'm just become extension of the tepi of the things, and they receive it directly from the spirit of the Hape. This is the container; it's just empty and clean.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Thank you so much for that piece. That was an important piece to clarify. Is there anything you'd like to say to wrap up before we leave?
Well, I have a very good message for people. Life is great. That's that's the main message. That's the main message. If you ask the jungle people, the tribe, they always they bring the energy of the so alegria, of the joy, and they will say it, and they know what it is. Suddenly, there's a flood, and they lose a lot of things, and there's challenges in life, and we know that life is full of challenges, but underneath and above everything, life is great. And when we do hape or ayahuasca or all the different medicine, it's not because the life is so hard and difficult that we have to fix life. Life is great. Life is great. And whatever we take part of is just to connect us and remind us that life is great, and not to get distracted so much by the other thing. The other thing will come and go, and it allow us to stay focused and bring back that pure energy of life that is also within all of us. We are all part of that beautiful life. We are great. We are beautiful. And we are very grateful to have all that wisdom, the ancestral wisdom that coming in many form and in the form of the medicines as well, to always remind us to stay on this high frequency, that we can operate from that place and spread this good news to everybody else as well. And thank you very
Hausch,
much.
hausch.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
so
much.
much, brother.
Thank you so much for doing that and interview all these beautiful people and help carrying that message of good stuff and elevation.
Thank you,
And
brother.
hope to see you soon.
Me
Also,
too.
out of the computer. And
Yeah, me too,
yeah,
brother. Thank you so
okay.
much for all the wisdom and for being such a beautiful medicine carrier, and yeah, for all your great hape. Really appreciate it.
Much blessing.
Hausch, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that amazing podcast with Amir. Learned so much about the Kuin and his journey and Hape, sacred tobacco. If anybody would like more information on Hape, I have a book called Hape Sacred Tobacco. You can find in the links. And also my new book on animal spirit guides will be coming out in about a month, hopefully. And you can find information about that also in the show notes or on my website. I'm giving the book away for free for the first week. So if you feel called to put your email in, and we'll get it out to you when it releases. Hope everyone is amazing, having a great day. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Bye.
Neide o Shibu, Inawarro ni Kuin, no coração da floresta. Haush, na put mastery permanent katan, pus sayona. Huh?